Duncan, a dog wandering the streets of Colorado, dragging himself forward on just his front legs, his back legs twisted and fused beneath him in an unnatural X shape. Most people would see a broken animal, a lost cause, but what they found wasn't just a dog. It was a miracle waiting to happen. This is the story of Duncan, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why thousands of people around the world call him their daily inspiration. But first, you need to know that Duncan's journey almost ended before it even began. The high desert winds of Colorado carry many secrets, but on this particular day, they carried something else, the faint whimpering of an animal in distress. When local residents first spotted the small figure moving across the rough terrain, they weren't even sure what they were looking at. The creature was pulling itself forward with determination that seemed almost human, its front legs working overtime while something dark and twisted dragged behind. As they got closer, the truth became clear, and it was heartbreaking. This was a dog, a beautiful, young dog, but something was terribly wrong. His back legs weren't just injured, they were completely fused together underneath his body, twisted into a position that made walking impossible. Yet here he was, somehow surviving on the streets, refusing to give up. The sight was so unusual, so devastating, that the people who found him knew immediately this wasn't a case for the local animal control. This dog needed something more. But here's where Duncan's story takes its first unexpected turn. The people who rescued him didn't just call any shelter. They reached out to Panda Paws Rescue in Washington, a specialized organization that focuses exclusively on special needs animals. Most rescues would have hesitated. The medical costs alone would be enormous. The chances of finding someone willing to adopt a dog with such severe disabilities seemed almost impossible. Yet when Gary Walters and his wife Amanda received that call, they didn't hesitate for even a second. "We'll take him," they said. And just like that, Duncan's life changed forever. But nobody, not even his rescuers, could have predicted what would happen next. The flight from Colorado to Washington should have been routine, just another rescue transport. But Duncan wasn't just any rescue case. As he traveled across the country, something remarkable was already happening. Word was spreading about this special dog, and by the time his plane touched down in Washington, Duncan already had a family waiting to adopt him. Everything was arranged. His future seemed secure, the perfect ending to a tragic beginning. Except that's not what happened. When Duncan first met Gary Walters and Amanda at Panda Paws Rescue, something shifted in the air. You know that feeling when you meet someone and there's an instant connection? That's exactly what happened. But between a man and a dog who had every reason to be afraid of humans, Duncan, who had been abandoned and left to survive on his own, looked into Gary's eyes and made a choice that would change both of their lives forever. The prospective adoptive family arrived as scheduled, excited to meet their new pet. But as they watched Duncan interact with Gary and Amanda, they saw something that made them pause. The bond was undeniable. Duncan wasn't just comfortable with the couple who ran the rescue. He had chosen them. And sometimes, love means letting go. "They told us that they felt like he should stay with us," Gary would later recall, but he wasn't convinced. Running a new rescue was demanding enough. How could they possibly give Duncan the specialized care he would need? The medical bills alone would be staggering. The time commitment was enormous. It wouldn't be fair to Duncan, Gary reasoned. He needed a family who could focus entirely on him. But that night, Gary discovered something that would shatter his resolve completely. He found Amanda sitting in bed, tears streaming down her face, telling Duncan a story about how special he was. She was whispering to him about forever homes and second chances, about how some souls are meant to find each other against all odds. She said that she just felt in her heart that our home was his forever home. Gary remembered, "I caved." And with that decision, Duncan officially became part of the Walters family. But his biggest challenges were still ahead. The veterinary examination revealed the full extent of Duncan's condition. His back legs weren't just fused, they were actively twisting his spine, creating a situation that would eventually cause excruciating pain and potentially paralysis. The recommendation was clear, but heartbreaking: amputation. Duncan would have to lose his back legs entirely. For most dogs, this would be devastating. For most families, this would be the moment of doubt, the time to question whether they had made the right choice. But Duncan wasn't most dogs, and the Walters weren't most families. The surgery was successful, but recovery would tell the real story. Would Duncan be able to adapt? Would he understand what had happened to him? Would he retreat into depression? Or worse, would his spirit finally break? The answer came sooner than anyone expected, and it was nothing short of miraculous. Duncan woke up from surgery and immediately tried to stand. Not walk, run. He looked around, seemed to assess his new situation for about 30 seconds, and then proceeded to act like absolutely nothing had changed. He jumped off furniture. He raced up and down stairs. He played with toys and demanded treats, as if losing half his legs was just a minor inconvenience. It is a running joke when people see him for the first time, Gary explains. They normally say something like, "He only has 2 legs?" or "What happened to his legs?" We always say, "Shh, don't tell him. We haven't told him yet, and he doesn't know." But Duncan's story isn't just about physical resilience. Hidden beneath his incredible adaptation was a ticking time bomb that nobody saw coming. Duncan has a heart condition called boxer cardiomyopathy, a serious disease that can cause sudden fainting and even heart failure. It's the kind of diagnosis that changes everything, the kind of news that makes you realize how precious every moment really is. And for Duncan, it's been more than just a diagnosis. It's been a battle for his life. He has died twice, literally stopped breathing. His heart stopped beating, and twice Gary and Amanda have had to watch veterinarians fight to bring him back. Twice they've had to face the possibility that their miracle dog might not make it through the night. Twice they've had to say goodbye, only to have Duncan prove once again that he's not ready to give up. Each time he's been resuscitated, each time he's opened his eyes and looked at his family as if to say, "Did you really think I was done?" His will to survive isn't just inspiring, it's contagious. Today, Duncan lives his life with a joy that most 4-legged dogs would envy. He refuses to use a wheelchair, preferring to race around on his front legs with a speed that amazes everyone who sees him. He's food-obsessed, particularly when it comes to peanut butter. "He would sell my soul to the devil for a single lick," Gary jokes. He's playful, strong-willed, and completely unaware that he's supposed to be different. But perhaps most remarkably, Duncan has become something he never intended to be, a symbol of hope for thousands of people around the world. His Instagram account has followers in every corner of the globe, people who start their day by checking in on the 2-legged dog who refuses to quit. Messages pour in from people facing their own challenges, their own disabilities, their own moments of doubt. He has changed the lives of thousands of people with his never-give-up attitude, Gary says, and the evidence is overwhelming. Comments from people who say Duncan helped them through depression, through their own medical challenges, through moments when they wanted to give up. Duncan's story reminds us that sometimes the most broken things become the most beautiful. Sometimes what looks like an ending is actually a beginning. Sometimes a dog found wandering the streets of Colorado with twisted legs and a damaged heart can teach the world what it really means to be whole. And sometimes, just sometimes, the very thing that makes you different is exactly what makes you extraordinary. Duncan doesn't know he's disabled. He doesn't know he's supposed to be limited. He doesn't know that his story is supposed to be tragic. All he knows is that he's loved, he's alive, and every day is another chance to run, play, and remind the world that giving up is never an option. That's the power of refusing to see yourself as broken. That's the magic of a heart that beats stronger because it's had to fight to keep beating. That's Duncan, the 2-legged dog who's teaching the world how to stand tall.